Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurship series. So last week we talked about the basics of idea generation and finding your Ikigai. And this week we will be talking about ideation, which is a creative process in which you generate, develop, and communicate the new ideas. Well, of course, there is some overlap between Ikigai and ideation, also depending on which definition you use. However, in my interpretation, Ikigai is a lot more about finding your inspiration and your drive and maybe creating a vague idea of what you want to do for a business, whereas ideation really focuses on that idea that you have and working it out and making it more concrete, so to say. So ideation can be applied in two ways. On the one hand, it can be applied for people that want to start a business, so you're really working from the basics from the beginning. However, ideation is also relevant for people that already have a business, and that part we will discuss a little bit later in the video. In starting a business, it's important then to go from your vague idea or just your drive, inspiration, your Ikigai, to a concrete idea. This can be done in several ways. On the one hand, you can do it through individual writing and reflection, and that can take the form of mind mapping, for example, or other types of visual models. But besides individually, you can of course also do this in a group, and this group can consist of experts that are relevant to your topic, but it can also be very simply family or friends. And actually maybe it's depending on your idea and on your business, it may be better to have non-experts involved in the ideation process versus experts, because I always think that people that don't know anything about the sector that you're in, they can really give you very valuable insights as an outsider, because they don't understand the insights, and you need those people to understand your business idea as well. So they give very valuable external insights, I would say. So don't be scared to ask family or friends, because oh yeah, but they don't know anything about it. That can be a good thing. So the results of ideation for people that want to start a business is, of course, that you go from a very vague inspiration or idea to a more concrete idea, which is of course very important. But what's also important that you will hopefully then have a bit more of a roadmap of the product that you want to create or the service that you want to create, as well as maybe the beginnings of an investment plan. So what kind of equity or money you will need for your idea. However, I would say personally, for someone starting out, that's something you focus on more in the business model canvas. And that's something we will actually be talking about in another upcoming video. So stay tuned for that one. But of course, it can be quite difficult, to go from a very vague notion to a very concrete idea. And I took a course over the summer from Marina de Giovanni. It was called Influencer Courses. And I thought she did that very well, like the training in that. The course is very, very detailed. So in the course, you're making online courses. However, the course is so relevant beyond that, because she really teaches you how you can get from finding your passion, so from finding your Ikigai to having a concrete idea, in this case for an online course. But I think you can really learn very valuable lessons from that also in other types of businesses. So I would definitely say, if you can, invest in taking the course. However, it is quite pricey, so I definitely understand if you can't. But yeah, she had very valuable exercises, I thought, that really helped. But yeah, of course, probably you can also find them elsewhere. But I think if you can, it's definitely a course worth doing, in my opinion. But if you can't, in the subscription box, I will search for some exercises that you can otherwise do, and I'll link them below in the subscription box for you. So if you already have a business, ideation is still very relevant, I'd say. However, then instead of using ideation for creating a business, you rather use ideation for business innovation. So the process of ideation is still pretty much the same. You still can do like the individual writing and reflection, mind mapping, can do that in a group as well, though then if you already have a business, it probably makes more sense to do the group work with your employees and then maybe get a few external people, but I think usually mainly it's done with your own employees. But definitely I think the results of ideation would be a bit more different than from when you're starting a business. Because now it will be more important to get into the details, I would say. So have a more detailed investment plan, because you won't be setting up a business model canvas anymore. Or maybe you'll change it, but you won't set it up. So you need a more detailed investment plan. But also a risk matrix would be very important. Besides, of course, that just having the concrete idea and maybe the visuals that come along with it. And this for existing businesses, of course, leads to the more rapid development of ideas, which leads to business innovation, which is, of course, very important for existing businesses to continue to exist and be successful. To quickly summarize the video, ideation involves the creative process in which you move from a very vague idea or inspiration, your drive, to having a concrete idea with roadmaps, visuals, possibly investment plan, etc. For businesses that already exist, ideation should lead to business innovation, whereas for people that are starting a business, it should lead to eventually business creation. But of course, first for the new entrepreneurs, the next step would be to fill in the business model canvas, which will be discussed in another video, and definitely let me know if you want that explained in the future. So that was it for today's video. It was definitely a bit shorter, but nevertheless still very important topic to talk about. And I also felt like if I didn't discuss it, then it would feel a bit like I would have missed a piece of information in the process. So I hope it was useful, and see you next week. Bye.